Welcome to Yoga Teacher Journeys, your podcast for all things yoga and mindful living. I'm Claire.
And I'm Bianca, and we're two yoga teachers sharing the insights and wisdom we've picked up along our journey so far.
Whether you're thinking about teacher training or exploring yoga as a way of life, join us weekly for inspiring conversations.
Let's go on this journey together. Hello again, and welcome back. Episode
8.
I don't do numbers, so we'll let you confirm that one each week.
Yes, episode 8. Very exciting. And today we're going to talk about what is yoga, a bit more on the philosophy side. I'm really excited. So I think we can just start there. So what is yoga to you, B?
Yoga. So honestly, what I see yoga as now compared to what I saw it as, say, a couple of years ago, there's been just it's so different. It's crazy, isn't it? And even when you do the 200 hours, there's so much more to it than maybe you would ever realize unless you explored a little further and went down the kind of more philosophical route. Because I think yoga without philosophy, it's not really much. It could just look like movement on a mat. I think the philosophy is what gives it the depth. Yoga is an opportunity for you to experience yourself through yourself, is kind of how I see it. So it's the experience of your truth, your true essence of who you are. It's that detaching from the ego. It's the being in your body. It's the riding the waves of life. It's a tool.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a tool. I think more on a pragmatic side of things, yoga, the word itself, means unity, community. And I love that side of things. Joining.
Yes.
Joining together. Yeah. And to me, it's obviously, as you say, my understanding of it has changed a lot in the past few months. In the past, it was more about poses on a mat, through some poses, feeling a nice sense of bliss at the end with Shavasana. But now it's a lot more than that. It's preparing the body for meditation. It is helping to ease suffering. That's, to me, the ultimate goal, and easing physical, but also mental suffering.
Yeah, it really helps you to soften. And I think when you are softer in your mind and in your body and in your soul, that's when you can really ebb and flow. That's when you can enjoy life. If everything's really rigid and you're really attached, that's when it's really, really difficult. So yoga is really this tool that helps to bring a softness back in. It's a practice that, you can't do one yoga class and expect to be healed. But for me, yoga is a really healing practice. And if you practice it regularly enough, it's almost this dedication to yourself to show up no matter how you're feeling. And the more you can learn about the different sensations in the body, the different energies, all of these things that you have within yourself, the thoughts, the more you can learn, the more awareness you have of yourself. The more awareness you have of yourself, the more easy you can connect to others. So that's that unity and joining. So when we're practicing yoga, it helps us to connect to who we are underneath all these things that we think we are. And when we do that, we soften. And when we soften, it's pure love, and then love on love, connection.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You nailed it. Well, that's the episode.
Yeah. So basically, it's all love at the end of the day.
I was just going to say it's all of those things, but I suppose, how do you get to those feelings through yoga? And I suppose there depends on your style of practice and how you practice. Obviously, there's flowing through the different asanas, the different postures. And as teachers, we're taught a specific sequence of different styles of postures that you should be doing throughout the practice to prepare the body. So whether that's your warm-up, your sun salutations, your standing asanas, your twist inversions, and so on and so forth. But then there's also the breath. So I think we both do some breath work in our practices So whether that's at the beginning, the middle, or the end, but that connection with the breath really does help you then flow in the practice as well and prepare for that meditation. It's a connection of all of those things. And also sometimes the spoken words, so the mantras or an Om Shanti at the end and feeling the vibrations of that. And I know you speak to your students about that sometimes. So what is Om to you?
So this week, my theme of class has been community and connection. So I have put some OMs in. Actually.
Nice. Yeah.
Because, I don't know, over in the UK, there's not so many classes that you go to where you get that experience for the nom. And I guess some people can see it as a bit of, they feel a bit weird, omming, you know? But for me, it's this beautiful reminder that we are all connected to each other and everything else. And Om is this universal sound of the universe. Like, it's the universal sound of everything. You can call it God if you want. You can call it whatever you want. But at the center of everything, there is a vibration. And when we Om, it's that resonance with everything. We're connecting to everything and everybody and ourselves. And it's really powerful. Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't align to some people, and that's okay. Yeah. What about you? How do you feel about an Om?
I love an Om and I love all the mantras and the chanting actually. And as you say, it is difficult to bring it into classes.
Like in Budapest, though, are there many classes where you get that?
I think if you go to the more advanced classes, the classes where yoga teachers attend, yes, there are. But I think in your average class, not necessarily. Now, I have started doing it at the end of each class. And I just say that obviously it's completely optional. They can take part or simply listen. And I think by being consistent with that over time, then people might feel the courage to try. And then they might start to feel also the impact of it. I think the Om is really special for sure. And it takes some time also to get used to of how to do it and be able to hold almost the length in that kind of the sound and the vibration through the Om. It's like an AUM Om kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the Shanti, 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 obviously, which means peace. I really enjoy. I think it's such a positive message, way to end a class. I love finishing the class in that way.
Yeah. And I guess every teacher has their own probably view on an Om and the impact of it. So it's nice if you feel comfortable enough to share these things, but I think the teacher has to feel comfortable with an Om to be able to share that with the class. And it's really beautiful. I think in my class this evening, I'm going to try, and I haven't ever Ommed in this class on a Friday night before. So I think we're going to bring it in. And what I might even do is I might open with an Om and then at the end get everyone to face each other and we can Om kind of more facing the center. So it feels more connective. I'll see how it feels. I'll read the room. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's like such a good idea. I love that. Yeah. I would love to get to a point where we could also do some chanting. I would love that because
it's just part of the experience, isn't it? And this is what, again, going back, yoga is an experience. It's a journey. And every time you step on the mat, you have a totally different experience of yourself. And it's really incredible.
Absolutely. And also when you all verbalize that together, you do feel that community more. You do feel the unity more. Like we had such a powerful moment during our teacher training. Remember when we did the kirtan and we were all singing together, that the energy in that room was so powerful. Like everyone was crying at the end. We didn't know why, but we just all felt so connected. And then we went to another one. Some of us went to another one in town and it was great, but it didn't feel the same way because there at training, we were all going through the same experience. We were all at the same kind of space, the same energy. And so that connected us, that bonded us so much more. Just that 1 or 2 hours we did together of singing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. And like connection's everything. So yoga really is that journey back to connection. And I think, again, I think we've said this on a podcast before. If you've tried yoga and you haven't really enjoyed it, I would say go and try another class. Find a different teacher. We might not be the teachers for you, but there will be someone that you do align with out there. And yeah, it's a really special practice. It doesn't have to be, super spiritual. Some teachers aren't so much. So finding just the entry point, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. It is so true. It is so true. It would definitely encourage you to try a couple of classes. And I was going to say, it's a bit like a therapist. You've got to like
Yeah. Yeah.
try a few until you find the right one for you.
Yeah.
And in terms of spirituality, I mean, you just mentioned it there. I think spirituality means different things to different people. And as you said before, you could associate it with God or a God or however you would want to define it. You might call it the universe. But I think people do benefit from believing in something that is bigger than them. So whether it's
Yeah.
a God or universe or whatever, and trusting in that helps you actually go through life so that when things don't quite go your way, you've tried your best. It's like trusting in the universe that the universe has got you and there is a path that you're supposed to be on potentially, and you will get there and things will figure themselves out. And I think having that faith, that belief in that greater thing helps us all as human beings. And that's why religions have been around for so long, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it helps us to lessen our grip onto the attachment and the ego,
Mhm.
doesn't it? So if we're connected to things that are bigger than us, it's expansive. It means we can let go. And when we let go, we can flow.
Exactly. When we let go, we can flow.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised how many people on a Friday evening come into my yoga class and you can feel the tension in the room, right? They've had a busy week at work. They've been doing the to-do list. They've been doing this. They've been doing that. Sit down. Let's meditate. Let's kind of ground you into this space. Let's move. Let's concentrate even further through the body. Let's shift some energy that's been stuck there. By the end of it, you can feel there's a softening. And their body and the nervous system is just like, oh, that's that exhale. And it's really beautiful to just witness the shifts. Yeah. Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just helping effectively to still your mind eventually, right? And meditation is you have to train your mind to come back to that point of concentration. And you'll always have thoughts. Your mind will always wander, but it's just about noticing that it has and bringing it back to that focus. So whether you're in a class and it's focusing on the next asana, your breath, the flow, or something else if you're in stillness, really. But it's really powerful. And I've noticed, so I've been now meditating every morning for 5 minutes at least, pretty much. And now I can just sit there and I practically just get into stillness immediately. Like it's
Mm.
just like I do it also before my brain gets engaged. So before looking at my phone, before talking to anyone. So when you wake up, your brain will be quite quiet as well. So it does help to do it then for me in that sense to get into that stillness more quickly because my brain hasn't thought about all of the little things that have started to trigger it for the day. But also
Yeah.
sometimes I think about, or these are all the things I need to get done today. And sometimes my brain is like, but it's also resolving problems that I might have or things that I need to resolve. And so it's just a really powerful practice. Yeah,
Yeah. And I guess you could see yoga as a moving meditation.
absolutely.
And what makes it a moving meditation is the breath, the drishti, so the eye gazing, and the bandhas. And those three things used together make yoga so, so powerful. And we can go into them on another podcast because that's for another episode.
Yeah, yes, definitely. So, yeah, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? We've spoken about what is yoga, the purpose, and spirituality. Spoke about
There's
Om.
so much. There's so much. Honestly, there's so many different views depending on what type of yoga you practice and what type of yoga you align with. And everyone has different views and alignments. So, which makes it really beautiful. So, every single yoga class that you go to could be based upon a different part of the philosophy, and you'll be able to feel it in the way that it's being taught. So, one of my teachers, she's a Bhakti yoga teacher, so it's all about devotion. So your practice is selfless. You devote your practice to something that's more than you. And so every move that you make is this, you're not just doing it for you. There's so much more to it. And I love the way that she talks you through that. So yeah, it really depends on the style of yoga that you're going to as to the type of experience that you're going to get as well. I mean, I don't think we have time to go into all of them because there's so many, but we can definitely on the next podcast talk about the types of yoga that we've experienced or that we
Absolutely.
learned on a teacher training.
No, definitely. And I think that's a great way to sort of wrap things up here, is that there are so many styles of yoga. There are so many types of teachers that there will be a type of yoga for you out there. So we're both qualified in Hatha and Vinyasa yoga. We have some experience with a bit of yin as well, Ashtanga. You've practiced quite a bit of Ashtanga yourself. And so I
Yeah.
think it'd be really nice just to talk about some of the different types and what do the different types mean, and perhaps help someone try a new style of yoga that might suit them better.
Yeah, because I think there's a style of yoga for everything that you could need in your life. There are different times in your life that you could benefit from different styles of yoga, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, that's the theme for next week. Yeah.
Wow. So have a wonderful week, Claire, and we will, catch up soon.
See you next time. Bye.